All right, you guys, this your boy back at y'all with another one, man. Shouts out to the whole LGBC Lions Den basketball community. Give the video a like, hit subscribe, ring the bell whenever we go live. That way you get the notifications. Also subscribe to the Patreon. Let's talk about this, man. Look, as if things can't get any worse for Donald Trump and his surrogates. So there's a brand new wave of COVID-19 cases sweeping over the White House. This is coming from the Washington Post. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, along with the buck dancing extraordinaire Ben Carson. Shout out to Stephanie Dews in the building. Appreciate you for being in the chat. Now, Mark Meadows was trying to get people not to say anything about his condition. But after his diagnosis became public late Friday, the official confirmed that a broader outbreak threatens to create a new crisis in the West Wing, just as Meadows and other top aides are trying to help Trump navigate a bitter loss at the polls to Democratic President-elect sloppy Joe Biden. Now, official who spoke on the anonymity, because he were authorized to discuss the matter, declined to name the affected aides or provide information about their conditions. Now, in addition to the 6 White House staffers, the Trump campaign officials say campaign advisor Nick Traynor has also tested positive. And the outbreak comes as cases are spiking across the nation. Saturday brought more than 134,000 cases, setting a new record for the 4th day in a row. And deaths and hospitalizations are also on the rise. Now, Biden may have won the presidency by relentlessly attacking Trump's decision to downplay the severity of the virus and disregard basic advice from public health experts for combating a pandemic that has so far killed more than 237,000 Americans. Now, Meadows has rarely worn a mask in public, has ridiculed Democratic governors for locking down bars, restaurants, and other businesses, and has fought with federal science advisors about the administration's response to the pandemic. Now, the affluence of health professionals such as Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, has steadily waned under Meadows' management. And Meadows has supported Trump's strategy at present to reopen schools and send people back to work, arguing that we weren't going to control the pandemic. Now, this comes months after Donald Trump made this proclamation about how the cure can't be worse than the disease and all that nonsense. Now, the majority of the Americans have disapproved of the president's handling of the pandemic almost from the start. And, let's just be honest. His handling of this whole thing has cost him the election. This is the primary reason why he lost the election. Let's just be honest about that. Had he had a better response to the pandemic, he would still be president right now. Joe Biden wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in hell had there been a better response to the pandemic. But no. He fired a whole bunch of experts and brought in a whole bunch of yes men like Jared Kushner and Larry Kudlow and Steve Mnuchin, telling him everything he wanted to hear. And his dumbass is going along with it. And as a result, now he's on borrowed time. But let's continue on. Declared the winner on Saturday, Biden has promised that at present he will listen to the public health experts and try to bring the pandemic under control. Now, he is already hired a group of 6 doctors in place to, try to combat this illness. Trump has not conceded the election, however, and his campaign issued a statement accusing Biden of, quote, falsely posing as the victor. Shout out to my boy James Hayes in the building. Salute, my brother, all day and twice on Sunday. Now, the White House outbreak is at least the third wave of infections to strike the White House employees and residents. We all know about the September 26th event at the Rose Garden, where Trump has appointed Amy Coney Barrett, which Anthony Fauci, justifiably so, called that a super spreader event. Shout out to Adrian Barbie in the building. Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna get on Jared Kushner ass. Don't you worry. We about to get on that Bama here real soon. Now, Trump First Lady and their son Barrett all tested positive, and Trump was briefly hospitalized. Now, Hope Hicks and Kelly McEnany was also infected. Now, 2 weeks later, at least 5 aides or advisors to the Vice President Pence has tested positive, including Chief of Staff to Mike Pence, Mark Short. Now, despite the repeated infections, Trump, Meadows, and their allies have continued to flout public health guidelines, holding large indoor gatherings where few people wear masks or follow social distancing. On election night, Trump hosted an event at the White House billed as a victory party where people mingled close together and few wore masks. It is not clear when or how Meadows became infected, but often takes several days after exposure to the virus before an infection becomes detected through testing. Now, through Meadows tested positive on Wednesday, his diagnosis did not become widely known until late Friday, when it was first reported by Bloomberg News. Now, many White House staffers are angry at Meadows for not disclosing his infection sooner. The official said top White House officials and cabinet officers who had close contact with Meadows in the days around Election Day have been kept in the dark. Now, he traveled with Trump for whirlwind election rallies in several states during the week before his diagnosis. These stops included Michigan and Wisconsin, states where cases are spiking. Now, he was also photographed greeting Trump supporters lined up at a barricade at a Trump rally in Opelika, Florida. Meadows was a yard or so away from the crowd. Neither him or many in the tightly packed group of supporters wore masks. Now, and we're going to talk about the Notre Dame, what happened during the Notre Dame Clemson game over the weekend. We're going to talk about that in the next video. On Election Day, Meadows visited the campaign office with Trump, where he was photographed standing close to campaign and White House staffers. He also watched election returns with Trump and the family residence court in the map room, and in the wee hours of midnight, he was at the White House as Trump addressed supporters during an election night party in the East Room. Look, when it comes to this, look, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck who they infect. They don't give a fuck who they hurt. All they want to do is keep on a goddamn image that's clearly not working. They're trying to will something out of existence. I mean, it's already bad enough this Bama rolling around town and telling anybody who's willing to listen that there's this widespread voter fraud going on. Right? Right? There ain't no such thing. Think about it. Think about it. All these years, we've had elections, right? Whether you voted or didn't vote. But the fact of the matter was, we held these elections damn near every year, right? Every 4 years for president, but every year for local elections and things like that. And we have not heard this massive case of widespread voter fraud. We haven't. Only when this Bama came in the picture, only when he decided to run for president, now there's all this widespread voter fraud. Now, mind you, he's been touting this stuff for the last 4 years. When the motherfucker won the election, he was touting widespread voter fraud. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. So I got some videos coming. We're going to talk about the person that changed the game for Joe Biden, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, what will happen next for both parties, as far as like Joe Biden and Donald Trump. What would be their next steps? We already know what Trump next steps is. This motherfucker just want to goddamn try to overturn the election, but he's going to find that process far more difficult than he anticipated. This is why we can't get the virus under control. Because you got people out here still not taking this thing seriously. We still got people out here thinking that it ain't gonna happen to me, and the cure can't be worse than the disease, and this thing and the next thing. We could have had this thing done by now, had people just follow social distance guidelines. But when you got people that walk around here thinking that they're bigger than anything else, and this don't apply to me, and hey, Trump not wearing a mask, so I don't have to wear a mask neither. When you got people throwing out rhetoric like that, then it's going to be difficult to bring this thing under control. Now, lost in all this was Donald Trump firing his defense secretary, Mark Esper. That's one thing that's been lost in all this today. Now, that took a back seat to, Trump spreading all this virus during. Man, look, man, these guys are disgusting, man. At this point, ain't nothing else to say. All we pretty much saying is we gonna start this clock, okay? And Trump, your time in the White House is about to come to a screeching halt. You and everybody that think like you. What up, Real Facts TV? Straight up, man. Smash the like button, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, man. You know what I'm saying? You just got people not taking this shit seriously. So let's briefly talk about what happened on Saturday night. Because this super spreader in the White House weren't the only thing that happened Saturday night. Now, during the Notre Dame Clemson college football game, in which the Notre Dame Fighting Irish defeated the Clemson Tigers in double overtime, you literally had fans rush the field. And when you see that on TV, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? It got to the point where pretty much the president of Notre Dame put out a statement expressing his disappointment in the student body for not following protocols. Now, those students going to have to be tested before they can even leave campus to go home for Thanksgiving. And if they violate that, they can find themselves facing some sanctions, maybe from expulsion to their not getting picked up for the next semester. I mean, that's the kind of uncompromising position they put themselves in over a football game. They literally put their health and safety at risk over a fucking football game. But when you got the president and his minions and surrogates acting the way they act, you can expect stuff like this to continue. Let's just be honest about that. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more of this because people are not taking this thing seriously. There's this exhaustion about the pandemic. Oh my God, we gotta talk about the pandemic again. I want the club to open back up. Man, why can't the club open back up, man? You know what I'm saying? I miss going to the club and shaking my ass and getting up and getting phone numbers and taking hoes back to my motherfucking hotel room at 3 in the morning. Man, when the fuck is this virus gonna end, man? You know what I'm saying? Shit. That's how people acted. Right? People going to the store, don't want to wear a mask, don't want to they want to get all up on you and all that. Cases in Virginia, we got 1,000 new cases today in Virginia with 6 deaths. DC, 86 new cases with 1 death. I mean, when is people going to realize that this shit ain't going nowhere? Now they're going back. Maryland has scaled back a lot of things that they had in place based on the phases and all that. They're scaled back. Maryland had 1,300 new cases today with 9 deaths. And people continue to not take this thing seriously. People continue to, listen to this bullshit from Donald Trump. Like, they don't even, like, look, the Trump administration has basically not talked about this virus at all. It's got to the point where Trump is tired of it. He don't want to talk about it. He don't even want to bring it up. He just want to sit there and watch this country burn to the ground as he, tries to overturn an election, which is quite astonishing that he would try to overturn an election, because back in January when he was getting impeached, what were his lawyers saying? What were this bastard saying on Twitter, right? What were they saying on Twitter? Oh, well, what were they saying during the impeachment process? Oh, well, we need to let this stuff play out, and we need to let the American people decide who the next president going to be. That's what they were saying during the impeachment process, because they couldn't argue the facts, so they argued the process, and they argued that, well, this, you can't, impeach the president at a time like this. So let me understand something, right? And this is where, people got to be careful about falling for bullshit, right? Think about this, y'all. When Trump had a lead out there in, I think it was up in Michigan, either Michigan or Pennsylvania. No, it was Pennsylvania. When Trump had to leave in Pennsylvania, you literally had a crowd of people, stop the count, stop the count, stop the count, stop the count. When Trump was trailing in Arizona, you literally had people saying this: count down votes, count down votes, count down votes, count down votes. Shout out to Wouldn't You Like to Know in that building, man. Appreciate you, man. All you guys is here, man. Appreciate y'all for being here today, man. You know what I'm saying? We talk about some real shit, right? Now, mind you, yeah, there will be some black bootlegs in there, but for the most part, a lot of these people that's doing this nonsense is palm-colored individuals, the PC crowd. They're the one out here doing a lot of this nonsense, right? And they're part of the reason why this virus is going to continue. They're part of the reason why people are not going to get better. They're the reason why we're going to continue to have more deaths, and things are going to get hampered because people decide that they're going to do what they want to do no matter what. And if y'all think this is bad now, wait till Thanksgiving. Wait till Christmas. Wait till New Year's. We got all these people wanting to go out and, spend time with family and, not understanding that, their family members probably been around somebody that had COVID on Thanksgiving. They might have, families They get together, kids opening up Christmas presents, long ass lines at the fucking mall, at Walmart and all these other stores and all that. Right? Motherfuckers knowing, and then they did this, y'all. Motherfuckers knowing they got the virus, and they still walking around. They still not quarantining. Motherfuckers still going to work, knowing they got this shit. Then when you confront them about it, then they want to say stuff like, "Oh man, you violate my rights. I can't believe you want to violate my rights like that." People feel empowered because of the rhetoric that came down from the top. Now, you don't want to wish anything bad on nobody, but at the same time, am I going to shed a tear if Ben Carson passes away from this shit? No. Shout out to J Dog in the building. Everyone subscribe to J Dog's channel and under the Underrated Darkness. I'll put a link in the chat room, and you guys can come in here and tell me what y'all think about this, man. Because this is disgusting. And now Stephanie, she mentioned something about a million MAGA march. A million MAGA march. Why? Because you don't like the fact that Donald Trump is going to get booted out the White House. You want to have a million-person march to try to overturn the election? That's not how this works. Shout out to Unique Dawn in the building. Mwah. It's crazy. Makes no sense that people out here still desperate for entertainment. Hey, we're gonna. I know we got COVID-19. I know people gonna get sick from it, but you know what? I'm desperate for entertainment. I want entertainment. I'm desperate for entertainment. What up, Underrated?
What's good? What's good with you? What's up, J Dog? I ain't seen you in a while.
Hey, Underrated Darkness. Hey, LB. What's up?
What's up, fellas, man? It's good to see y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? What y'all got on this, man? Fresh new wave of cases in the White House.
Ah, man, what, yo, can you exterminate this fool, man? Come on, man. What's wrong with these people, man?
It's just the president. This shows you right now why Trump lost the election. This is why he lost the election. He can't even handle his own house. And now I'm hearing that Ben Carson now got it. What next? I bet you that other black guy is probably going to get it too. I'm hoping
he got it. He got it, J Dog.
Yeah, but I just haven't heard about it yet. But if he did get it, then that's karma for what he said about the pop and stuff like that.
Hey,
you Jerome Adams, that motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah, man, do it for your mind. What do you say? No, do it for your pop and your mad and whatever crazy shit that
your
was,
grandmammy, yeah, that stuff. If I find out he has it, then yeah, that'll be karma on him.
Mm-hmm.
But as for Ben Carson, yeah, serves Ben Carson right.
Well, I'm not putting no assumption or nothing. If they still mingle with each other, they getting it, and it's not even a year done yet.
Not done yet.
Now you're hearing a possibility. I heard about the Mega March too. I'm hearing rumors that they might try to do a coup or something like that.
A coup?
Civil war. But I'm like, I ain't gonna be fighting no civil war. Either that's among you people.
Yeah, for real, man. Fuck that.
We ain't got nothing to do with that.
I know. I ain't trying. I ain't got nothing to do with that neither. Fuck that, boy.
You're on your own with that. Yo, you took a L, dog. Got league, man. Yo, January 20th, you gotta go. I wish it was legislation they could leave earlier than that, man. Clean. Well, I'm not saying that Biden is they're no better, but a loss of the loss, though.
I
Loss of the
know.
loss, man.
If you do not have proof that there was rigging and there was fraud, then yeah, you need to go. Maybe if you have done something about this pandemic, then maybe people won't be so eager to try to kick you out.
And I think the two things that Jay though you never met one thing, he do something the pandemic of this, and also have a stimulus plan. He probably would have survived, but he didn't want to do it. So it's what you
Uh,
get.
yeah. And
So
I
you gotta go. You
yeah,
gotta go.
That's
yeah,
right.
all he had to do was persuade the Republicans to agree on the Democrat stimulus check and
Mm-hmm.
actually get this pandemic under control. Tell the people wear the mask. He would have been a hero. But I bet you, you know what? I think this pandemic. I think this was population control. What he was hoping was a mass population control, meaning that they could use the virus, and the Chinese even thought this too, to kill as much people that may be enemies of Trump, so that when it came to election time, there won't be that many people voting against him. He was hoping that.
But that didn't work.
Nope. Instead, all it did was anger a bunch of people enough to vote him out.
And I understand is that people fail to understand the economy is still down. People is losing houses. People losing 401k plan. People losing trust funds
And
to
jobs.
and
Jobs and money.
jobs and money. So all that in one. He was going not going to last. Like I said, you like I said, I ain't said that Biden is the best because he's not. That's
No,
another
he's not.
conversation. That's another conversation. But we talk about right now. What do you think the people are going to for? Especially like I said, like you said, J Dog. I was thinking the same way. You didn't want to give in to the stimulus plan. I'm gonna wait till after the election. Like you going to win? Nah, they say, all right, we gonna show you something.
Nah, if you're not gonna be willing to help the people before the election, don't expect to win the election.
Right,
That's
exactly.
even what
So
Ice Cube said. Why he wasn't trying to wait till after the election. He wanted to see who was gonna help the people now.
now, now, and that's what it happened. And I think that is another blow that he suffered. He thinks he in delusion. Oh, they took votes away. Nah, nah, nah. Listen, man, the pandemic and the stimulus, you did not get it done. So what you did of these Democrats, you let them off the hook. You make them look as a hero. When you have a 3 billion dollars, when they were saying they knock it, they was first six, they knock it down to three. Said, listen, we need to get the economy going. You know what it says? It says no. And I'm gonna say one thing too. And these Republicans had voted for Trump. Don't think y'all don't think y'all out the water yet either, because because y'all gonna get it too at the end too.
That's exactly right. If they don't destroy you in the runoffs in January, they'll try to destroy you in the midterm elections. See, the Republicans messed up so much in 2020 that it's costing them elections. But the Democrats kind of messed up too. It's
Yeah,
because
they
they
definitely.
lost seats. See, neither party wanted to give us tangibles. And
Right.
that's why no one really voted. That was another thing. No one really turned out to vote.
No, they didn't turn out the vote. They just want to say like, "Oh yeah, black people, voted for Democrat and stuff like that." But if you really think about it, nobody didn't really turn out. But I would say this that um is this that before I fall back is this: if the Democrats get all branches, They ain't gonna look good for Republicans.
No, they'll lose a lot of power. And here's another thing. Why did it take so long to call it in favor of Biden? I'll tell
Yeah,
you why. Because, like I said earlier, no one turned out. We would have already had a winner during election day. Even if it was just so many votes to count, there will already have been a winner in election day. But that's like I said, black people turn out. Black people are the biggest base. We can determine the election. That's why other groups have been trying to get as many immigrants in this country to undermine black people. By the way, Infoman is going to talk about that. You've heard of Information Man. He actually got an upcoming
yeah.
show that's going to talk about 2065, why black people need to really unify and be prepared for a possible immigration invasion that will undermine us by 2065,
And it's
and
not,
what
and
we
it's
need and why we need to prepare.
yeah, and it's
Because
not long. And it's not long from now either.
yes, some of us may not even be around, but the
Yeah.
fact that this is what's going to happen, that's the problem. See, this is what the Democrats want. Now, there are probably ways that could probably stop it, and that is if the Republicans can get some power back and deny immigrants. Right now, they still have hope to control the Senate, and plus, Republicans have influence in the courts,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true.
and
Yeah,
then they courts us.
yeah, they
They
still,
got us
they,
as leverage.
yeah. Before I turn it on to the other person, that's right, because it's still conservative. I think 6-3. That's still
That's the Supreme Court.
majority. That's
And
supreme.
you
Yeah,
got
that's what I'm
other
saying.
courts. You also have other courts, federal courts
Right,
that
that's
are
what.
that
Right,
Trump has
exactly.
filled up.
Right, exactly. Okay, yeah, exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing the public. Sorry, LB. I don't want to take over your show, LB.
Well, you good, man.
Now you got another person in there, so
Oh yeah. True the King TV's here too.
All right, well, what you got on this, man?
Yo, what up, LB? What up, underrated? What up, J Dog?
what's good? Long time no see
What's
you,
up,
bro.
True the King TV? What's up?
What's good, bro?
Nothing much, man. It just, I don't know, man. It's all a game, man. I heard y'all talking about like the Democrats and all that. I mean, it's all a game, man. They got us not in their hands, and like, you know what I mean. And they take and we fall for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen, when I seen, I'm in Delaware. Well, I'm not like in Delaware, but I'm like at the state line in Maryland. And
Okay.
I'm from Delaware in Maryland, so I lived in Delaware like half my life. And
Mm-hmm.
like I've seen people, Joe Biden, that's what he got his name, like Delaware. So it's like people
Mm-hmm.
were celebrating like his end of slavery or something. I'm
Right,
like, what in
right.
the world is going? I'm like, hold up, man. I thought slavery ended or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, here's
they
the
would
thing.
they would drink, man, popping champagne. I'm like, what in the
Mm-hmm.
world?
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
I was
Here's
what?
here's the thing. Those were the Democratic shields that were out there, not us. All
Man,
right,
listen,
there were a lot of
I've seen
Democratic
us, like
shields.
us. There's a lot of us. Listen, I've seen people. It's disgusting, man. Like I've seen Plies. I don't know the rapper Plies. I don't know if
Yeah.
y'all seen that. He had like the picture of like quote unquote all the Coon Squad. And then he had the below. It was like Ti, um, somebody else that supported Biden, but guess they had never had Ice Cube in there. Like, what are y'all talking? Ice Cube is not for anybody. What are y'all talking
Right.
about?
Exactly, man. What?
Ice Cube basically said, "Listen, we need to listen. This is what we want. This is what's the plan for Black people." The Democrats denied him. Joe Biden them denied him. Then he went to Donald Trump. Simple as that. Cause they listened.
Right, and it was a representative. Well, he didn't meet Trump. He was part of the representatives.
Right. If it was him,
So what?
the Democrats denied. The Democrat didn't
They
want to
not
talk to that man.
right. They said after. They said the Democrats said after the election.
That's corny. That's corny.
Joe
Now
Biden is not going to do anything for black people, man.
man,
That is,
listen, dude,
He's not. He's not.
listen. You talking about the same dude? They talk about how Trump is a racist and all that, but
he is a
right,
racist.
right, and that's true. But that man, sit for Joe Biden did a whole eulogy to a Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard eulogy, and he said that was
Robert
one of
Byrd.
his best friends.
Yeah, he's talking about Robert Byrd.
Did y'all watch Saturday Night Live this past weekend, man?
Man,
Oh,
I heard
Dave
about that
Chappelle?
shit, man. I heard about that shit.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
That Keenan do that bullshit, man. Come on,
Man,
that's
man,
disgusting.
fuck that. I ain't talking about that.
Like
I ain't
that
talking about
bullshit,
that.
man.
hold on. The past Saturday, the hope of Dave Chappelle, and the whole time I watched that shit, I was not laughing at all, man. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why did you host the show this week? They had no good stats at all. Cause I thought
Man, I want to talk about that, man. Let's stay on topic.
Yeah, but it's like it's insane, like, but it's insane, like it's like they make it see like Joe Biden's like a freedom fighter or something, dog. It's disgusting, man.
Like
He
I
is
said,
no
man.
freedom fighter.
Like
Yo,
it
he's
be like
not,
a
man.
freedom
Yo,
fighter, man. Like,
he is, like I said, LB. Thing a few days ago, he is a second generation dissy Democrat.
exactly.
Hey, to be honest with you, right, with all this going on, look, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris they're not going to be able to hide behind Donald Trump. You know
They're
what I'm
He
not.
saying?
can't. He out.
He won.
Yeah.
So, you know, and, to be honest with you, Democrats are a bunch of hypocrites too when they talk about the super spreader event at the White House. Meanwhile, when Biden and Kamala Harris won, right, with her and the second gentleman, right, that Jewish fuckstick, right, that motherfucker, they had their little party and whatnot. People out there doing celebration dances. Here she is dressed up in all white like she an angel, but she ain't nothing but a goddamn she devil. What up, Sean Orjico? What's up, man? So look, it's gonna get to a point now we're gonna have to shut this country back down. And they gonna have no choice in the matter. And I don't give a fuck who get mad and who talking about, well, that's gonna affect my money and all that. Man, fuck your money.
Word, shut it down. They did all that talking about the max. Joe Biden did all that talking about the max and all that. And now show and prove then.
And
How you
people
gonna
out
fix
here,
it?
you ain't get this. And then people out here talking this shit about, well, um, people die of everything else. There's still people dying of cancer. There's still people dying of, this, that, and that. Okay, that might be the case.
Cancer is not contagious.
But that don't,
Diabetes is not contagious, but this COVID virus is. See, these people that talk about, well, people die of other diseases, or we don't have no shutdowns or wear masks and stuff. First of all, half those viruses have treatments and cures to weaken them. COVID does not. Stuff like cancer, diabetes, asthma, they're not contagious. But
look at this motherfucker Joe Biden, man. This motherfucker ain't got some goddamn nerve. Because I didn't watch that bullshit Saturday night. That little White House, that little presidential victory speech. I didn't watch that bullshit. I just saw the clip on the news just now. Here he is looking at the stars. The goddamn fireworks exploding with all his fake teeth. No mask on, not social distancing. So what message are you sending there, Mr. President-elect?
Yo, that's hypocritical right there.
Yeah, I kind of watched it. I kind of watched
Yeah,
that whole.
it definitely is
I
hypocritical.
didn't believe
Cause
anything
you do
he
all that.
skin my hair said.
Cause you did all that talking about Trump ain't doing all this and that, but then they do the same shit. Come on, that's what I be talking about, man. And then and one of the problems is this too, though. When they can't hide they can't hide behind Trump, whatever, right? But people are still gonna make excuses for these people, man.
Mm-hmm.
People are
that's
still
what
gonna
the
make excuses for
media
these people,
comes
dog.
in.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
They can't do nothing
No, I
wrong.
didn't. What I didn't like in that speech is when Kamala Harris said, "I'm a first black vice president." Like, oh, now you want me black?
Like
Well, you
now you want to be black, yeah.
They
Man,
already have articles saying that she's Indian and stuff, and not mentioning black. And as
yeah,
far as
I saw that too. You see that too, right? Man, look,
Yeah, that's
man,
corny, man. She
we
is
all
a
know
cornball.
at this point we all know how Zartan operate, man. You know what I'm saying? This bitch,
Zartan's a
anything to get her some
massive guy.
publicity, man. And this the thing, she's going to be the leader of one of the leaders of the Democratic Party when she leaves office.
Well,
Right.
here's the thing. You said that people are going to still defend Kamala and Biden. Well, that's where the new black media comes in. We're going to have to go against those defenders.
Yeah,
Here's
you know,
what
all
we
the
have to
people
do
out
to
there,
the new black
you
media.
know,
The minute something happens, when they're sworn in, the minute something happens, goes bad, we're going to call Biden and Kamala Harris out and saying, okay, we voted for you. This incident happening. Another cop just shot another black person. So what are you going to do to make sure they stay in jail?
And they ain't doing nothing. They ain't talking about nothing about
man,
police
look,
reform
you already know
whatsoever.
the players from Kamala Harris, man. This bitch she herself has engaged in prosecutorial misconduct, right?
Yep,
So
that is true.
if she tries any action to try to mitigate or bring these people to justice, that basically she gonna run the risk of somebody calling her out for her past demons, for her past sins.
Just
And
be
yet she
locked and
thinks
loaded,
she's
people.
not charging police in the Breonna Taylor case, and that's widely expected coming from a prosecutor
Oh,
who's
oh,
done the dirt
LB,
he's done.
oh, LB. Guess who part the lawsuit against the country? Daniel Cameron. He
Man,
made
that fuck stick, he don't need to be filing no lawsuits nowhere. If anything, motherfuckers need to be filing lawsuits against him. Motherfuckers need to go ahead and take his ass off of being attorney general, and he need to be in jail for prosecutorial misconduct because that's
so
Yeah,
cyber.
he
he
need to
he
be
decided
indicted.
I want to be part of Trump's legal team. I'm like, motherfucker, what?
He need to
Everybody
be
got on his ass.
indicted. He need to be indicted for what happened with the Breonna Taylor case. Them grand juries um, called him out and exposed what he was doing. He needs to be indicted immediately, or at least when his election comes up, when he has to come up for re-election, he needs to be voted out.
Oh,
Your
we
ass
ain't
out
oh,
here.
he ain't
Yeah,
gonna get no
exactly.
reelection. We ain't reelecting that motherfucker. You can you
That's
can
right.
get that.
We all need whoever lives in Louisville needs to find a candidate that is good, that's going to punish the police, and use that candidate to vote that guy out. Then he needs to be indicted.
I break it down to you like this, man. We vote every time we try to vote somebody out the office, and it don't never happen. We have did that for years and years, and Mr. McConnell still down here running motherfucking shit.
That's
And
because they're extremely loyal to Mitch McConnell. Remember, we're talking about Kentucky. We're talking about a deep red state. That's extreme. Now, the state as a whole is extremely loyal to Mitch McConnell. But remember, Louisville is just one area. In your local elections, you're able to do more in your local elections than your federal elections. You have the better. People in local elections have a better chance of actually getting stuff done, or even getting people voted in or out in local elections than in federal elections. So at least be involved in the local level. You might be able to get.
I tell you this right now. I tell you this right now. We're gonna end up having a new mayor because we don't like the way he did things when the whole Brianna
Well, then primary him. You need to primary him or make him lose in the general election. General election is the last resort. What you need to do is, since I think he's a Democrat too, you need to find another Democrat to primary him, and then have that person. And if that person in the primary is good for the community, primary that mayor, and then have that person that beats the mayor win in the general election. But you have to find the candidate.
I'm telling you, like
What we in our community need to start doing is we need to start vetting some of these candidates. We need to have an economic base so we can fund them, and we need to vet them, and so they can do what's best in our interest. We need to get them involved in doing our bidding, doing our interests. But it's going to take money and influence.
Yeah, and politics don't move without those two things.
That's a great idea right there.
But it's hard to
But
do when we can't come together, though.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. It's going to take us coming together. You know, you got
Right.
motherfuckers out here.
That's like the number one thing. That's the number one
Yeah.
thing is our
But
community
James, right.
to unify, or we need to
Yeah.
at least unify with the people that is going to help us. We
Right.
may not be able to get everybody, but we can get enough people to unify.
Right. We gotta start. Yeah, we gotta start something. Whereas it'd be some type of like some type of unity in some in certain degree. Because like not everybody gonna be part of the ride. Because there's people here that's still blind and they're stubborn. Like people will call you a whole coon for not voting. People will call you a whole coon because you didn't vote for Biden.
Or
Like it's 2020 and people call you a coon because you didn't vote for Biden.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't vote for
2020.
nobody.
But people will call you.
Yeah.
But people will call you a coon because you didn't vote.
what are
And
you talking about?
that's
You weren't
2020.
for voting for Biden.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why they make what makes Biden like they make like that man got got the extra black card, don't he? I mean, that man can go he bought every barbecue, ain't he? Like, come on, dog. It's just stupid, man.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
All right, I got.
the
Hey,
reason
hold
I
on, y'all. I
didn't
got
vote
some
because I
breaking
did my
news. Hey, hold up. I got some breaking news. Right. So the bishop, who is a evangelical Trump advisor or Trump evangelical advisor, he has died from COVID-19. Now,
damn.
this guy is by the name of Bishop Harry Jackson
Yeah.
Jr. He's a conservative pastor, evangelical advisor to Donald Trump. He has died according to his church. Now, he died
That.
according to a statement posted on the website of Hope Christian Church in Beltsville, Maryland, where he was the senior pastor. He
Mm.
said, it is with a heavy heart that we notify you that our beloved Bishop Harry R. Jackson Jr. has transitioned to be with the Lord on November 9, 2020. Please pray for the Jackson family comfort and respect their right to privacy at this time. Now, Ricardo, hey, somebody got TV in the background. Chief of Staff at the Hope Christian Church told Religion News Service that he did not know the cause of death. Now, now they say two faith leaders at the event, in addition to President Trump and the First Lady, later tested positive for COVID-19. Jackson was also tested at the event, but his results were negative. The same day, at the Rose Garden ceremony, he participated in the Franklin Graham Prayer March in D.C., and on Sunday, November 1st, he held a town hall with Vice President Mike Pence at the Hope Christian Church. See? What we always keep talking about, these goddamn pork chop preachers and these pulpit pimps, right?
Uh-huh.
These pork chop preachers and pulpit pimps running here selling the soap. They out here. You already had another evangelical that died earlier today. I saw this on Torian Range page when he did his triple P on the motherfucker. I can't remember his name right now, but he was going around telling people that fornication is a reason people are getting the virus. Really? Now I know fornication and your pull-out game not working can result in you getting the HIV or the KID, but it's not a reason for you to get the coronavirus, man.
Well, I could tell you one thing: when it rains, it pours.
Oh no! I mean, you actually, if you are having, what, with someone with the virus, yeah, you are at risk of spreading it. But that the what happened to that pastor, yeah, that's just the fact that he was hanging with Trump shows you, yeah, that's karma coming from him. Because I heard that this COVID virus actually attacked these sex organs, but the fact that this pastor was still hanging out with Trump, that's the reason why he actually got the COVID.
Damn. So hold on. So you mean to tell me that if you get the COVID, that could possibly affect how you perform sexually?
Well, not it may not like perform how you perform sexually. It's just like it's that
You may
like
get herpes on your penis. That's what you're trying to say.
it's just like why would
Hey, hold, hey, did run the
someone is
chat. I
sick
got a phone
with a
call.
virus? Someone is sick with a
Hey,
virus.
J
You're
Dog.
gonna try to sleep with them,
Hey,
and the
J Dog.
virus is contagious.
Hey, J Dog.
Yeah.
Hey, run the chat. I got a phone call. I'm gonna take this phone call real quick.
All right.
What I'm trying to say is you know this person is sick, but you're still gonna try to sleep with them, and you don't even know if the illness the person have is contagious and it could spread through that kind of manner. That shows you're sick.
Hey, that's why I've been staying away from people. That's why I've been staying away from females, man. Like, till this whole virus thing taken care of, I ain't trying to get with nobody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard about that, Stephanie Do, that Trump is considering running 2024. He actually is allowed to do that.
Hey, I don't know how. Hey, I don't know how Trump do that. Hey, I heard some news today that the reason why Trump wanted to remain president because he's broke, because he's trying to get loans from the bank. Right now,
Yeah.
they keep turning him down. And
Well,
plus,
because he has no money.
Yeah, but he's going to get money anyway when he's not running no more. He's going to get a hefty check for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's why he got the presidency in the first place to enrich himself.
And remember we talked about this on Saturday. They already news report coming out saying his wife going to leave him after his time as president is done over with in January.
Yeah. Now about the possible reelection of 2024 or the run. The reason why Trump is allowed to do this is because a president is only allowed to run 2 terms. Now, Here's the thing. He's only done 1 term. That means he still has 1 term left. As long as you have not run 2 terms, you can run for that term at any time. See, Obama can't do that because he
did 2
terms. Clinton can't do that because he's run 2 terms. Bush can't do that because he ran 2 terms. Now his father could because he only ran 1, but he never went back to doing it. He was getting sick.
So that means if Trump wins, I'm just saying, if Trump wins 2024, only he can run for 1 term. That's it.
Yeah, he can only stay in for 1 more term.
Something like it has happened before. Had the president won the term and lost and ran again and got reelected?
That actually happened years ago. I forgot.
I think that was John Joseph Tabb who did that. I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I gotta look it up. I have to look it up. But yes, there was a president that happened before. A president did win election, then lost his reelection, but then got reelected by beating the other guy. Yes, that did happen before, and Trump can do that.
Right. Only different things is he only just could be a president for one more term, and that's it. He cannot go for reelection because he already did a term already.
All right. The guy just said that the president was Grover Cleveland. They said that when he first got into office, he was the 22nd president. He lost the election, but when he won it back, he became the 24th president.
Right.
So yes. And that was also around the time when there was no term limits. Did you know that FDR is known to have the most terms? 4 years. But that was because there was no term limit.
There was no term limit. He run from I know he passed away in 45. I think he was the president back in the 30s, I think.
Yes, he started as president in the 30s and 40s during the Great Depression and World War II.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he was the reason why there are term limits, because
Mm-hmm.
people felt that you should not try to be running for office too many times. But here's something interesting. There's unlimited terms for Senate, there's unlimited terms for House of Representative, and even as far as Speaker of the House. Yet
Yes.
president
You know
is
something?
2 terms every 8 years.
If they didn't have that 22nd Amendment, I bet you the guy that George Bush would probably would have been president for life.
Yeah. How many
Because
terms did Woodrow Wilson win? I do not know. I have to look that up, that information up. But I know that FDR ran for president multiple times and got 4 terms, and that's after him. That's when they start putting in term limits.
And
But
I'm
they
gonna tell you, and
term
I'm gonna tell,
limits.
yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you, if he would not pass away in 1945, I don't think that they would have changed that.
Yeah, I think whoever was president, and I think whoever was put in Congress or the Senate, those were the people that put in laws to add in the term limits. Now, interesting, they never put those term limit laws on the Senate and the House of Representatives.
No.
they should
See,
have did that.
what?
They should have did that. Because you
Yeah,
got people in the Senate and the houses who ain't good, who are evil people who just live in the past. Just
Yeah, right.
they
You got senators that been in the Senate for almost 60 years. What about Strawman Thorman? I mean, the protege of Biden. He
yeah.
was he.
Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden was there since the 70s. I think Mitch McConnell was there since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that was because he keeps winning his elections every 6 years. Yeah. For those who don't know, a senator runs for re-election for election every 6 years,
Every 6 years, right? Exactly.
and a congressman, a House of Representative, they run every 2 years.
Every 2 years, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and look and have anything changed since they've been in the Senate in the House? Nope. They keep
No.
on.
And see that this is why some people do not understand politics.
Well, that's why when people say, "Oh, why this scandal be happening?" I say, "Do you know the branches?" No, that's why y'all
You don't
voting
know the
people in.
branches. You don't know what different sectors of the branches.
They don't.
Yeah.
Like I give a case in point. I'm from New York. Like to be a mayor, only could be mayor 2 times. That's it. But Bloomberg, he was a mayor 3 times. But you know what happened? They changed it up. Then people complain about it. Then, oh, you could be a mayor two, but you let a mayor to be a mayor for 3 times, and this is in New York. So it leaves a sour taste in the mouth. That's what I'm saying. You gotta know the branches. You gotta know the House of Representatives, like you said, is 2 years. Everybody think that the senator, oh, yeah, they give vote every 4 years. No, it's every 6 years.
6 years. And then you also have to know what each branch works. The legislative branch is both the Senate and the House. They're
In the House.
responsible for the makings of the laws.
Uh-huh.
The executive branch is your president, your vice
Uh-huh.
president, and many of your secretary of defense or secretary of state, your
Uh-huh.
heads of departments like the FCC, the FDA, and stuff. That's your executive branch. Those are the ones who execute or activate the laws. And
Yeah.
then you have the judicial branch, and their leaders is the Supreme Court. Their jobs is to enforce and observe the laws to make sure they're constitutional.
Uh-huh.
Each has a somewhat power in this government.
Uh-huh.
And people, they can overlap one another. Like, that's why there's such thing as impeachment. Like that legislative branch can impeach the president, and I think, and then the Supreme Court can even get involved. And but they
how you feel about people who on Supreme Court can do that for life? I'm not cool with that.
Well, then, in order for them to lose their lifetime term whatsoever, the Congress and the president, the Congress meaning the Senate and House and the president, has to take away that power and put in a rule that they have to have term limits.
And they have to have votes for it too.
Yes. And then they have to make sure it's constitutional.
Right,
Meaning
exactly.
the Supreme Court, they can say it's unconstitutional. See, that's another problem.
Mhm.
The Supreme Court, like I said, they have to enforce, but also make sure things are constitutional. You will have to put in a judge who has moral decency to say, you know what, you're right. We should have term limits. Let's make them constitutional. We should not be here all
Right
the time.
now,
Yeah.
you got two people on Supreme Court who are not good people.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But like J Dog said, they got to vote them out, and that's why us as black people, it's very important that we got to know the Constitution from the first line to the last line, because a lot of us don't really know what the Constitution, because that's where the branches really come from, and I'm saying they could switch up the laws if they really want to. They can switch it up because they Supreme Court. That's what's very important. We got to know the Constitution. We got to know it.
Yes. The Supreme Court, if they say a law is unconstitutional, then the legislative branch and the president have to switch up the law to make it constitutional to impress the Supreme Court, so that they can go around and say, okay, you made it constitutional, let's make it constitutional.
Right.
Now, the thing about the lifetime, you said, I think Loudon Writer Sports, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. You said the lifetime thing. Yes, that is a problem for some people. That's why a lot of people are unhappy with Trump just stacking the courts with so many judges that are in his favor. See, Trump and the Republicans kind of already knew that they may end up leaving office, maybe not now, but sometime in the future, but they still want influence. So what happened was they stacked the courts with conservative, corporate, Republican-leaning judges, and they know that the rules of the judges is that they're lifetime positions, meaning they can only be removed through retirement or resignation.
Or they could die out.
Death. That's what happened to Ruth Ginsburg and Scalia. Or they get in trouble with a scandal to the point where the Congress and the president puts them in impeachment. But they have to have proof that a scandal happened for an impeachment. That's the only way to remove. These are the only three ways to remove a federal judge. And then once that judge is gone, then the president can appoint a new judge in his or her place. However, because it's too important of a position, the Senate has to improve it. See, that's why Democrats should have fought hard to get the Senate back, because the Senate has more power than the House of Representatives. The Senate gets to approve all the appointees for things like U.S. Secretary of State, U.S. Attorney General. They are the ones. See, the president picks those people, but those positions have to be approved by the Senate. They have the Judicial Committee and stuff like that. The House of Representatives don't have that.
You know that election they got going in Georgia right now. They got January to elect two Democrats to the Senate, but I'm pretty sure a whole lot of people gonna go out there and vote for them.
So basically, what happens is
that's going to help the Democrats. See, right now, that's the only thing that's going to help Biden, and I'm going to explain that right now. Biden knows he needs a Senate leaning towards him and the other Democrats. And to do that, he needs these 2 Georgia seats. And here's why. Here's why. He knows he can't get a majority right now, but he can stop the Republicans from getting 1 too. And the only way to do that is for the 2 Georgians, the true 2 Democrats in Georgia, to win those runoffs. Then what happens is you have a 50-50 Senate split.
But also Jay, right? I mean, because also Jay Daw, always remember this: Kamala Harris, she even if it come to that, she's a vice president. She holds a tiebreaker too.
I was about to get to that point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But Underrated Darkness is absolutely correct with what he says. If what's going to happen is, and I'm predicting that this is what's going to happen, if the Democrats win the 2 Georgia seats and the Republicans win the North Carolina and Alaska seats, which is most likely going to happen, it's going to be a 50-50. Well, technically, it's going to be 50-48 too, which means 50 Republicans, 48 Democrats, and 2 independents. But the reason why that the 2 independents are usually counted with the Democrats, like one of them being Bernie Sanders, is because 2 independents have a history of voting heavily in favor of where the Democrats are. That's why they add them, and that becomes 50-50. So if they were to do any kind of policy or appoint someone, and the Senate becomes a tie, meaning 50 people voted for this, 50 people voted against this. Oh no, we tied. What are we gonna do? We need a tiebreaker. Well, Underrated Darkness just pointed out the tiebreaker, the vice president. Who's the vice president or soon to be vice president? Kamala Harris. I also forgot to mention one thing. There's one other seat that the Democrats also need to fill. Kamala's seat.
That's right.
They need a special election and make sure that a person that's in favor of Biden gets Kamala's seat. By that, once again, 50-50, even if it's not one party dominance, you at least have a 50-50. They were to tie, Kamala breaks the tie, and Joe Biden can get as many policies and many laws passed with that tie breaking, depending on how many is needed for whatsoever. Same with getting appointees. He can do things like expand the courts, get the stimulus, anything. But in order to do that, the Democrats have to win those 2 Georgia seats.
And they have to control the Senate.
Andrew Yang said that they're going to push hard these next 2 months. Democrats get those 2 seats.
Yeah, they got to control the Senate, and at the same time, too, we got to understand, too, Trump is going to, less than 2 months from now, he is going to be a citizen. So that means that if the Democrat want to convict Trump, they got all the rights to do that because they control the Senate and they control the House of Representatives. So no matter what happens, it's going to come down to the Senate. And then, like I said, the Democrats control that. All the affidavits, the Republicans cannot even stop it. They can't. They can go to the courts. They can go to courts all they want to. But Supreme Court said, "Oh no, y'all got to work it out yourselves." And when you got Biden and you got Kamala Harris and you got the Senate, that's all gravy. So that's why I say that me being from New York and everything, Southern New York is going to play a vital role to convict Trump. And don't be surprised that the state of New York district office is going to work very closely with the Senate if the Democrats get the Senate. Watch and see. I'm telling y'all.
Hey, don't forget Trump committed war crimes, he can go to prison for life for that.
Yes. And I think that's why he.
Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that in a minute. Let me get into that in a minute.
All right.
So when we talk about Trump committing a war crime, right? So basically, what happened was back in January during the course of the impeachment, he tried to set off a war to distract people from the impeachment, right?
Mhm.
So there's this thing called a gang of eight, right? If before a president want to call himself going to war, he got to go through the gang of eight, and the gang of eight consists of the majority leader and the minority leader and the Senate Judiciary Committee and the House and Senate Intelligence Committee, right?
And the Congress.
And Congress, yeah.
Mhm.
So you got to go through no, I take that back. So you got the four people in the House and Senate Intelligence Committee, and then you got the House and the Senate minority and majority leaders of the so like your Kevin McCarthy's, your Chuck Schumer's, your Mitch McConnell's, those people, right? That's your gang of eight. So if the president want to go to war, he got to talk to those people first, unless it's an imminent threat. Now, what happened was there was not an imminent threat. Trump just he got all trigger happy and launched that strike, killing the Iranian general and 35 other people.
Mhm.
Let's also talk about an attack that he did before that killed an American civilian. So you gotta remember that part. All of those are war crimes. And
Yes.
remember, the president can only launch an attack when there's a threat on the soil.
Imminent has to be
What happened with
imminent
Pearl
threat.
Harbor and 9/11.
It has to be
Those
an
were
imminent
justified.
threat. The key word in that is imminent. It has to be before. If he don't have to go through nobody. If there's an imminent threat where you got to make a move right now, then he don't have to go through the gang of eight. Before then, until then, anything after that is a war crime. And that back in July, the Iranian government has issued a warrant out for his arrest. Now, they will not go after him as the sitting president, but as soon as January 20th at 12 o'clock hit, you can best believe they're coming for him.
Yeah, remember LB? We was talking about that a few days ago. I'm telling you, January 21st, 12 midnight. Good night.
No, January 20th at 12 o'clock noon.
Oh, 12 o'clock noon. Right, that's my fault.
January
Yeah.
20th at 12 o'clock noon.
Yes, yes. Soon as Biden get inaugurated, 12:01. Good night.
The president is going to try to find any place that will give him sanction, so that no jurisdiction can touch him. He'll try to go to Russia. He'll try to go to any world leader's country that will be his friend and hide him. Like what happened with Roman Polanski. The French government was willing to hide him. That's what Trump is hoping to happen. Now, here's what Trump is also hoping to happen. He hopes that with all the courts that he stacked, he's hoping that one of them will go in his favor and help him get off. That's another thing he'll try to do if he has to go to a court. He's hoping to get a court that, because he stacked all the judges, that one would try to help him get off and stuff. And then if he does get off, he'll try to run for re-election in 2024. That's what I'm true.
Hey, remember on Saturday what we talked about? He can resign as president, and that means making Mike Pence the president, and he can Mike Pence may not make sure all the crimes he committed can release him from that. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. He can if he resigns and Mike Pence goes up even for a short amount of time, he can be pardoned. Yeah, see, Trump is also going to try to plead for a pardon or something. But yeah, like you said, he's going to have to resign, get Pence in there for a short time, and Pence pardons him if Pence wants to do it.
Okay, so about that, right? I know there's that theory out that's floating out there, right? The thing is, before he can be pardoned, he has to be charged with a crime. And if he hasn't been charged with a crime, you can't, you know, you don't want to just throw it out. You just want to throw out a fucking pardon just to throw out a pardon. Because then, if you give someone a blanket pardon, then they can just do whatever they want to do, and then they'll get away with it.
Guys, I think the Department of Justice is going to try to help Trump steal the election. Stephanie Dew says that Bars is trying to authorize the Department of Justice to put in a probe against allegations of voter fraud. They're going to try to get the Department of Justice to help steal for Trump. This just happened just now.
Yes, it's going to get messy.
No, what it is, motherfuckers are trying to steal the election, okay? Motherfuckers trying to do all kinds of bullshit to try to, they can find all, you're gonna hear stories about finding all these ballots in a trash can and all this other type of shit. Look, and this the thing, y'all.
And then he's going to use the courts. If he can pull this off, he's going to use the Department of Justice first, and then he's going to use the Supreme Court. He's going to combine all of that to try to steal the election.
All right, so this is the thing about that, y'all. This is the thing about that, right? Now, his claims already got rejected in the courts in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, right? This case has already got dismissed in because what he was saying at first is, well, they weren't letting people into the buildings to count the votes. When in fact they were let in. Matter of fact, they were let in, and they could have stood 6 feet apart. So that case fell on deaf ears, right? All these claims of voter fraud is basically a smokescreen because Donald Trump lost the election. Like I said earlier, right? When he was ahead, you had people out there talking about stop the count, right? When he was behind, all of a sudden now you have people out there talking about count the votes. So you can't cry foul because the things were in his favor,
right?
And it would have had some kind of validity had he not been spewing this nonsense out for the last 3-4 years. Because even when he won the election, he was out here talking about, oh my God, there's all this voter fraud going on. There are all these illegal immigrants that voted during the election. He said this even when he won 4 years ago without evidence.
I remember that. He was saying illegal. First of all, illegal immigrants were not voting. I mean, let's hope not, because they're not citizens. They should not be being granted the right to vote. They're not citizens
at all. Right.
Now, hey, get this, y'all. Remember, after Trump got sworn into office, right? Shout out to G5 Gabe in the building, man. Long time no see, homie. Appreciate you for being up in here. Also, shout out to Tyrone Church. I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel, man. Really do appreciate the love and support, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to donate to the channel, you know what I'm saying? There's my Cash App. There's my PayPal. All right, let's continue on. Now, remember, they held the task force soon after Trump got elected. They held the task force to investigate all this widespread voter fraud going on, right? They had to disband it because they didn't find any evidence of substantial voter fraud. Okay? Once again, Trump trying to replay 2016 and 2020.
Yeah, and he's screwing up because people are on to him now. And he's still going to try. He's still got about 2 more months left. He's still going to try. I know what he's doing. He's trying to get the Department of Justice and the Supreme Court to try to help him steal the election. That's what he's trying to do. That's why he stacked the courts. That's why he hired Byrne. That's why he stacked the courts with conservatives that are in his favor. That's why they did all that, because they were preparing for if the Republicans were preparing for if they were to lose office. Because those courts are lifetime positions. They said that when the court systems were getting stacked, they said that the judges were young, healthy, and well protected, meaning that they're going to be there for a long time, maybe even to decide the fate of the country for the next generation, regardless of who is in office, Republican or Democrat. And that's why Trump did all that court stacking in case of stuff like this.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's he gonna rely on. That's what I think he gonna rely for the last 3 months.
Yeah, the Republicans, in order to sabotage Biden and Trump, other than controlling the Senate, if they fail to control the Senate, the remaining senators of both the House and Senate will have to rely on challenging each policy with the courts.
Yeah. And I think that that's why the Democrats, like Jay Dog was saying that a few minutes ago, that's why the Democrats trying to work very hard, not the Congress, but the Senate, because they know that if the Republicans get the majority Senate again, it's going to be very hard to get Trump. So that's why it's very important that they got to get the Senate.
And another thing is underrated darkness is that the Senate can be used to appoint and approve judges.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I got some breaking news.
What's the breaking news, sir?
I got some breaking news that the Supreme Court is going to hear the Obama case tomorrow.
What?
They're going to hear the Supreme Court is going to hear the case for Obamacare tomorrow. And what's the one thing in the Obamacare that people trying to get stuff down? The whole thing with pre-existing conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where if they get their way, Obamacare will get overturned, and basically leave it up to the health insurance companies to determine a person's fate as far as like getting health coverage. So basically, what will happen is they will either A, don't give you coverage at all, or B, if they do give you coverage, you give them the avenue to charge you a whole bunch of money to give you health coverage.
Yes, and they can kick you out if you have a pre-existing condition. That's why. See what happens. See, this is why Biden wants to get control of the Senate. He wants to. If Biden gets control of the Senate, he wants to expand the courts. And yes, you're right, Stephanie. That's why they put in Amy Coney Barrett. It was to make it conservative leaning Republican. So even if Trump is not in office, the courts can overturn anything that Biden or any Democrat in the past, like Obama, in favor of the Republicans, whether they're in power or not, and because the court's a life term. So Biden wants to take over the Senate so that he can put in new judges and expand the courts, meaning add more federal district courts. And he also wants to use his time in office to expand the Supreme Court, meaning stack up with more judges than just 9 judges. He wants to add maybe 10 judges, 30 judges, and all liberal leaning and in favor of the Democrats. Which I think that's what he's going to try to do but he has to wait till he's appointed office. Right now, Trump got his Supreme Court justice in already. So now, and remember, just because Trump is out of office, anytime the Supreme Court is in session, they can do whatever they want. They can go look at any case, whatever they want.
Right. Yeah, because they still in charge right now.
No, even if Trump was not in charge, the Supreme Court can go in session anytime they want and look at any case anytime they want, even if there's no challenge. Right now, if they want to, they can look into Roe v. Wade, same sex, Brown versus Board of Education, the voting rights. They can look at any case right now, and right now they chose the ACA.
Yeah.
So what Biden's going to have to do to counter this is when he's sworn in, he needs to find judges that he get rid of. Well, he can't get rid of a judge. The judge has to, at least not without cause. He cannot get rid of a judge without cause. Judge is law-abiding. He can't just get rid of them. That's not. He has to impeach them if they are involved with the scandal, and but he needs to expand the courts. He needs to get in control of the Senate and then add judges by expanding the courts. That's the only thing he can do right now.
Yeah, and he got to do that quickly.
Yes, like day one.
Yeah.
After the runoffs, after the Georgia runoffs, day one when he's sworn in, he needs to find an appointee.
Yeah.
Stacking the court.
Yep. And so man, a lot of news is coming down. A lot of news is coming down the pipe, man, when it comes to all these guys, man. I mean, and then here's some more news that just came out like an hour ago, right? You had this coming from CNN. A Georgia Republican lieutenant governor came out and said there's no credible examples of voter fraud. So CNN, so Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, a Republican, said that his office has not seen any evidence of widespread voter fraud or irregularities in his state, as President Donald Trump continued to claim a second term of office was stolen from him.
That's not good for Republicans.
In the election after winning Pennsylvania.
That hurts his case. Case.
Yeah, that hurts his case big time. Now, Joe Biden declared victory in the election after winning Pennsylvania is ahead in the Peace State by at least 10,498 votes as of Monday morning. Now, Trump has not conceded, and he continues to make unfounded claims about voter fraud. Now, last week, the president and his Republican allies filed several lawsuits in key states challenging the election process and alleging voter fraud. This is another thing that's going to hurt him, right? This is another thing that's going to hurt Trump. Now, in Florida, when Biden was winning, right? When Biden was winning in Florida and Trump came back to overtake Florida and win the state of Florida, why did he talk about voter fraud then? Because he won the state. There's no reason to challenge the results of the election in the state that he won. So if you're not challenging the results in the state that you won, why are you challenging the results in the state that you lost? Because North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, right, and Arizona were the 6 states that practically decided the election. So all of a sudden, those are the 6 states you want to file a lawsuit? What about voter fraud in D.C.? What about voter fraud in Maine? What about voter fraud in Massachusetts? Right. What about voter fraud in Washington State? What about voter fraud in California? You lost those states, so why are you filing for voter fraud in those states? Get the fuck out of here, man! If you're a judge, throw that motherfucking shit out the court, man. Straight up, man. Come on, man. That's bullshit.
You might as well go for all states.
Yeah, why not go for the voter fraud in the state that you lost? Since there's widespread voter fraud, why are you filing voter fraud in the state that you lost, that you knew that was going to decide the election? You came up at the 11th hour and 59th minute to come up with this fucking frivolous slap suit alleging voter fraud. And just the thing, y'all, nobody's talked about this. I've talked about this several times on my channel about this bastard committing voter fraud.
I'm telling you, any Republicans that go with it, doesn't look good on your part.
Look, Mitch McConnell ain't got nothing to worry about. The motherfucker already won his re-election.
Yeah. He won his re-election, but at the same time, if Democrat, like Jay Dawg said, if Democrats gets it, It's done. That means he's not the majority no more. He's not.
Yeah, man, it just makes no sense that these are the states that you filing voter fraud claims. The state that you lost, that you knew that was going to swing the election. You go after that. Okay, whatever. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
You know that, but J Dog is right. This Republican coming out saying that there's no credible evidence of voter fraud in his state hurts his case immensely.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, is Georgia already counted?
Yeah, Joe Biden won Georgia.
All right, it's done then.
You're done. Donald Trump, you lost. Okay, you're done.
Yep, you finished. El Doctor. Get ready to go to jail too.
Yeah, put your head between your legs, kiss your ass goodbye.
And your kids, y'all gonna pay for it too. Y'all gonna pay dearly.
Yeah, y'all gonna pay. Y'all gonna pay. And then this is another thing too, right? And wouldn't you like to know? He put it. He said he took the words right out of my mouth. If there's this widespread voter fraud, why didn't the Democrats do better in the House and the Senate? Why did they lose seats in the House and the Senate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had another Republican coming out saying that there's no evidence of voter fraud. This is nothing more than a frivolous suit to distract.
That's all it is. Yep.
And William Barr, you know, that motherfucker ain't trying to see the writing on the wall. He's still trying to do Trump's bidding. He's still out here trying to, you know, selling Trump's soap and shit.
Yeah. But you know he's gonna pay for it sooner or later. He's just digging a bigger hole for himself. He gonna pay.
Yeah, he need to get the fuck out of here too.
Yeah, he do. And he's going. Oh yeah. And one day he's gonna be a citizen too. Yeah. See, y'all let it go.
Yeah, it's definitely time to go after Nakamama.
Just concede. That's it. But y'all don't want to do that. Like I said, if Democrat get all branches, it's done. And McConnell and them, they cannot do nothing about it because they're not gonna be a majority. They're gonna be a minority. They just have to eat that.
Well, the thing is, that's based on the Democrats winning both those seats.
Yeah.
If they only win one of those seats, then the Senate will still be controlled by the Republicans.
But I thought Kamala Harris would have the tiebreaker.
No, they only got to have that for that to happen. For that to happen, the Democrats have to win both seats in Georgia.
All right, that's right. Jay Daw said it right. You're right, exactly.
If they win only one seat,
that's still not enough. Yeah,
be the Senate Majority Leader.
Yeah, but they get they get them 2 seats. It's done.
And then, so it depends on the state, right? Say that. So when Kamala Harris, so let's look up what happens. What happens to Kamala Harris' Senate seat? So this comes from NPR Radio. speculation about who California Governor Gavin Newsom, because it is on the governor of that state to appoint a senator because that senator gonna have to do the rest of Kamala Harris' time. Then they're gonna have to rerun to maintain that seat. So let's read it out from NPR Radio. Gavin Newsom would choose to fill out the rest of Kamala Harris' U.S. Senate term if she got elected vice president almost the moment Joe Biden announced her as the running mate. Now that she's president-elect, filling her Senate seat is not a matter of if, but who and when. And what are the qualities Newsom should consider as he makes his most important political decision yet as governor? Actual election day, Newsom insisted he was not looking forward to it. Now, Harris, who was elected to her first Senate seat in 2016, will be up for re-election in 2022. Whoever replaces her will get a couple years in the Senate before running. Now, one thing J-Dog had said about a special election, that is not going to happen in the state of California. It's not going to happen. Gavin Newsom pretty much said no to that. So basically, what that means is he is going to appoint a person to that seat.
Yep.
Yes, that's what's going to happen. He's going to appoint a person to that seat.
Yep. Yep. And he's a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the bitch up had passed away. Wow.
Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and go, man. I'm gonna eat some food, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, always welcome up in here on Underrated. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Underrated Darkness, man. Also subscribe to J-Dog's channel too, J-Dog 8807, J-Dog FBA. You know, make sure you subscribe to J-Dog, man. Let's support our brothers and sisters that's out here telling the truth and not, and trying to protect our brothers and sisters from being put in the slaughterhouse. Also, once again, I want to give a shout out to the Bottom Line, Santee Walden. Let me chop it up with him yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Another good brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
To the Bottom Line, Santee Walden as well. You know what I'm saying? And always shout out to the mighty LDBC. This your boy. Scream at me. Hurry!